competition between the Canberra Raiders and the Illawarra Steelers. Tremendous coastline down here, some of the most beautiful scenery you would see in Australia. We sampled the seafood yesterday and the beaches, and Bega, well, they've turned out in numbers to come and watch this game. Something of a local derby, Paul Vaughton. Two teams in good form and difficult to separate.
It's going to be a great game still. I like the look of Illawarra. They're playing some fantastic football. Up front, Teitzel and Waddell are leading the way, giving backs like McGregor out wide a chance to do their stuff. He's playing some great football, McGregor. The clash between he and Meninga should be a beauty. Canberra, on the other hand, Daly is coming into form. He will be the danger man for Illawarra. In the end, I'm going to tip Illawarra by a couple. What about you, Sterlo?
I agree. I think Illawarra can go through and meet Western Suburbs in next week's final at Dubbo. Tremendous game of football coming up. We now go to Ray Warren as the two teams take the field.
A capacity crowd here at the Bega Recreation Ground, breaking all previous records that this township has been able to provide to sporting events. And of course the occasion, as you know, the second semi-final of the Tooheys Challenge between the defending champions Illawarra and of course the Green Machine out of Canberra. They've come in their thousands, and of course it's a very hot day, as has been the case throughout New South Wales in recent weeks. 31, 32 degrees here today as Dean Skiffeletti brings out the Steelers. They took the title last year when they defeated Brisbane at Dubbo, and they're hoping to have an appointment with the Mid-Western Township next Friday night. That's if, of course, they can get over the Canberra Raiders. And Skiffeletti takes the team out now onto a beautifully prepared surface. It's Riolo, Wishart, Rodwell, McGregor, O'Mara, Fritz, Neal, Waddell, Skiffeletti, Teitzel, Linda, and Piccinelli with Cross at the back of the scrum. Graham Murray is their popular coach. And of course, they're up against today easily their stiffest task. Coming to the semi-final, they beat Balmain. They weren't overly impressive, but they won 24-20. And in the quarterfinal, they ran away from North Sydney by 18 points to 4. That man has been playing magnificently, Paul McGregor, destined for State of Origin on a permanent basis, and that's Craig Teitzel, who won the man of the match for us last weekend for MMI Insurance. Mal Meninga brings out the Canberra Raiders now. The script has been jostled around, one would feel, because this township of Bega is split between the Raiders and Illawarra as far as supportership is concerned, and it's ironical that these two sides have come down here. Belcher, Wood, Meninga, Mullins, he's playing in the centres. Hoppy, Daly, Stewart, Osborne, Walters, Lomax, Ferner, Pongia and Croker, and of course their coach is Tim Sheens. We are in for one very good game of rugby league here. Western Suburbs, they are there. They're in the final. $100,000 at the end of the day. Who is it that's going to make the trip to Dubbo? Will it be the Illawarra Steelers? Well, Canberra, Bill Harrigan is the man in charge. Sun shining down. A light film of cloud creeping over. A breeze coming from behind Canberra for the first two quarters. And the second semi-final is underway with Belcher sending Sean Hoppy back to the defence line. Walters, the man that played the ball. Lomax is this nuggety Kiwi who has slotted in very nicely to the Raiders team. Osborne turning it inside for Croker. And now Stewart picks up the alternative kicker in Gary Belcher. He drops it down only shallow towards the 40-metre line, Illawarra's end, and David Riolo is brought down almost on the halfway mark.
I think we'll see that play from Canberra quite a bit out there this afternoon. There's no doubt Michael Moore will be getting through to Ricky Stewart as often and as quickly as possible in those last couple of tackles, trying to put him off his kicking game. I think Belcher will take over a fair responsibility there.
Neal playing it back for Skiffeletti, and now Teitzel goes ahead towards the Canberra line. Getting over the advantage line too. Both Teitzel and Waddell have been building a solid foundation for Illawarra. Harrigan says play on, so that was a bit of sloppy play by Illawarra. Stewart, he's tackled midway between the 20-metre line and the halfway. Young Ferner got himself side on to the defence and took his eyes off them. He took a very heavy hit from Waddell. Now a short ball for Osborne. He shapes to pass inside but takes the tackle. in the centre of the park. And Michael Neal was prominent with Bob Linder. Now it's away for Mal Meninga. 9 metres his side of the halfway. Opening exchanges of the second semi-final for the Tooheys Challenge. Stewart's kick. It is going to find touch down on the 30-metre line over the head of Rod Wishart. I don't know that Ricky was totally in control of it, but it was a fine kick. Scrum to go down. Illawarra's into the ground, and we see that Dale Fritz is coming from the ground. Illawarra and clutching at a groin.
Yeah, he seems to be holding his groin there and not very happy when he came off.
Neal works the scrum. Wishart comes in from the left wing, takes a buffeting from the Canberra Raiders defence.
And that's the replacement player at dummy half now in 15's Grant Izzard. Big loss for Illawarra, Dale Fritz, especially his defence. Major part of his armoury out there against Laurie Daly. Big test now for Grant Izzard.
O'Mara, who comes from Bega, and I'm led to believe that we've had his name mispronounced for quite some seasons now. McGregor. They float the ball out wide for Rodwell, but he's heading into touch. Good work by Mullins and Hoppy. That brings a pat on the back from Rick Stewart.
Now, Canberra's still playing this compressed defence of theirs, and Illawarra trying to get around on the outside of it, but that's the perfect way to play that type of defence. Sure, Illawarra made 20 metres, but in the end, Canberra forcing them out over the touchline.
Stewart feeding a scrum just 5 metres his own side of the halfway, so Canberra should occupy good field position at the end of this six tackle set. Walters away for Pongia. Hit hard over the top by Bob Linder. Skiffeletti underneath. Penalty going against Illawarra. They're up inside the 5, so it's the first opportunity in the game for points to be registered, and it won't surprise if David Furner... No, Rick Stewart has decided to go for the line. So Stewart taking the line kick himself. Just looking at that breeze, I'm a little bit surprised that they didn't go for the 2 points. But now they're going to set themselves to go for the converted try. Stewart, and this is Wood. And Harrigan has pinched Illawarra for getting up inside the 10. So another opportunity for Canberra. And still they... Well, Mullins is pointing to Furner. I don't know what has got to do with Brett. Meninga getting the team to settle down, reminding them that he's in charge, and Stewart again finds the line. Walters takes the tap 10 out. Lomax loses the ball first tackle, but another penalty goes to Canberra.
Yeah, it's a high tackle in there. Swinging arm, Dean Skiffeletti. You see Bill Harrigan signalling the tackle was too high. There's Lomax taking the ball forward. Yes, and Skiffeletti, the first man there, did get him around the chin. This is the 3rd penalty in kicking area, but they've pretty much made their own nest now. They have to kick for touch again, realistically. No, well, Furness decided, well, I can't understand this. Why not go earlier when they've had the opportunity?
Skiffeletti, the man penalised. I've got to feel a little bit sorry for him, though. Lomax was getting down, crouching low to the ground to try and beat the defence, and Skiffletti's picked him up around the neck and chin area.
Yeah,
but
this high tackle rule is really getting out of control. Referees are running scared. They've been given an edict. Look, probably Teitzel could have been penalised for a swinging arm, but Skiffeletti just went in and more or less grabbed him around those shoulder pads. Lomax is not a tall man, and he was crouching down. What are you going to do?
Skiffletti's not very happy with, I guess, himself initially, but secondly with the rule, the way it is. Furner. He's kicked only 1 from 7 in the 2 games completed. He's on about 45 degrees. 12 in from touch. That doesn't look too badly. It's a good kick for David Furner. It's even better for Canberra. They lead 2-0 in the second semi-final for Tooheys.
Wednesday night at the movies.
Rod Wishart restarting for Illawarra following the penalty being successful for David Fern. This is Croker. Walters using Pongia. Grant Izzard has gone on for Dale Fritz. You saw that happen earlier on. Fritz was only there a matter of seconds as Meninga makes a fine break. He's taken it deep into Illawarra territory. Matthew Wood on his outside and rounded up magnificently by Paul McGregor.
Yeah, beautiful ball. Good to see Meninga getting heavily involved early in the match. Lovely ball there from Osborne. Not good defence by Illawarra. Didn't read it out there. Big Mel on the charge and a beautiful pass out, but that's great defence, covering fence by McGregor. Try save.
The big men pack in to the scrum 20 metres out. 1-1 the scrums as it comes to Brendan O'Mara coming off his right wing. Neil for Piccinelli. I mentioned that Brendan O'Mara comes from Bega, and the crowd of course very much behind him, and they were looking forward to David Boyle being in the Canberra side for similar reasons, but Boyle again out injured. Waddell with the long pass tries to get outside the defence. McGregor is in possession, but Canberra's defensive pattern sliding across nicely. Skiffaletti away for John Cross. Cross, a beautiful fend on Osborne. Carries him into the enemy territory, down to the 30-metre line. Good run by Cross. Tackle number 5. Now the last. It's away from Piccinelli. Grant Izzard looks for Rodwell. Finds him going inside, but well read in defence, Jason Croker.
Very good work there from Illawarra. Great run from John Cross. Got through the tackle of Paul Osborne. Here we see the end of it. The pass inside on the last tackle. Some good cover defence coming across for Canberra. Saved the situation. A handover. A couple of early busts in this game for both teams now. One-on-one tackles being missed.
Lomax working on the inside of Pongia. Canberra 30 metres out from their own line. Leading 2-0. Stewart puts the right foot to it. It won't find touch. And Riolo will carry it back towards Brett Mullins, who makes the tackle low. Hoppy comes over the top, 32 metres out from their own line.
We've spoken so much about this defensive Canberra, Paul. I think they have to take a leaf out of Canberra's book, the Illawarra team, and not get too many people in the line when they go to the back line. As they get a penalty, get those couple of early passes to be nice wide ones, the type that we see from Stewart and Laurie Daly.
I think the way around that defence is plenty of decoys. You've got to try and stand that type of defence up and get them to make mistakes.
Rodwell with the penalty, finding it 30 metres away from Canberra's line. Skiffaletti, Neil, Izzard. Crosses on the right, but Izzard unable to use him as he's taken by the defence. And solid defence too by Walters and Pongia. Now Teitzel.
McGregor and Rodwell have set themselves back to the left here, Ray.
So we can expect them to come back to the left on the next play as John Cross takes it up. 20 metres out, in fact only 18 metres out. Now they need the long ball. Neil, Izzard, McGregor, decoy runner Riolo. Rodwell goes flat. McGregor almost going behind him and giving a Shepherd penalty. It's Wishart to dummy half. They're on the 20-metre line. Neil goes to the defence line, pulled down by Ferner. Tackle number 5 has come and gone. Skiffaletti puts it in the air. Going through is Neil Piccinelli with Cross. It comes down for Canberra's Matthew Wood, though, and the pressure goes off the Raiders. Played by Wood. Belcher comes in for, I think, his first touch of the game. 15 out. Walters trying to fend off the tackle of Bob Linder. And the sound of the whistle from Harrigan gives a penalty to Illawarra. Well, that's been a terrible mistake in the play the ball for Canberra. Harrigan has indicated that the ball was rolled back between the legs by Stevie Walters, and the penalty has gone to Illawarra right smack bang in front of the uprights. 15 out.
Already in this game we've seen some pretty scrappy looking play the balls. Earlier Craig Teitzel more or less gave possession away, milking a penalty. It didn't come his way. On that occasion, Steve Walters trying to get the quick play of the ball going. Ball just went back. He wasn't on his feet to play the ball. And it looks like it will cost his side 2 points.
Walters did appear to have a man all over him. I think I've made the point to you before that the marker and the man playing the ball, they're not supposed to come in contact with one another. So what are you supposed to do? You're under coach's instructions, give me a quick play of the ball. There's a bloke hanging all over you, and you're trying to play it in an unorthodox position. Anyway, it looks like Canberra will play. Wishart very comfortable with the kick. And Illawarra come back to join Canberra now at 2 points all. Two points all. The Steelers and the Raiders. Two sides that one would have to think can make the final five of the Winfield Cup. Particularly this side in white Illawarra. Cross brought to ground. A tremendous crowd on a beautiful day at Bega. Down here at the top of the Sapphire Coast, as they like to call it. Beach resorts like Merimbula, Eden, Parthra, Pambula. Lovely part of the world as we see a knock-on by the Steelers, and a scrum will go down 20 metres out. Here it is on replay. Waddell it was, snatching at the ball.
Yes, and look at a little bit of the defence coming through as well. The ball popped out, only third tackle. And this is where the Raiders like to attack from. Their centre field. No forwards in the road here. You'll see Canberra back line at their best.
Stewart. Good chance here for the Raiders. Croker picked it up at the back of the scrum. Stewart steps inside one, gets inside a second, and is pulled down eventually by Piccinelli. He broke quickly from the scrum. They go to the blind side. They've got it stacked, but Illawarra's got man on man. Meninga pulled down. He's 8 metres out from the line. They'll come wide. Not on this play, obviously, but on the next one would think so. Stewart will call the ball. Daly is very wide. Here it is now for Stewart. He runs across and turns Lomax back inside, and that's a try. A try for Lomax. Well, I think Illawarra, like I, was expecting the long ball from Stewart for Daly, and all he did was run a couple of paces across the ground and turned it inside for this New Zealander, Lomax, to score.
Yes, a nice play here from Canberra. Nice change of angle there, which stood up a couple of the Illawarra players. In the end, very sloppy, poor defence. But that player there, John Lomax, he has been their most impressive player over the last few games, and he's had a big impact on the game so far today.
Very lazy work there from Dean Skiffolitti. He missed the tackle. Here we see Stewart going across. As we freeze the play there, you see Dean Skiffolitti in the background there. He was the marker. He's only started moving now as play continues on. By the time he's come across, he's in bad position, and then just a swinging shoulder. But he thought they were going wide. He overread the situation, and it's cost his team.
Ferner now with the attempted conversion. 22 metres out. He's almost in the same position as the penalty that he landed for Canberra earlier. Well, they made that try look so easy, Canberra. Now Ferner strikes it. It's not coming around like the other. No conversion for David Ferner, but Canberra leading 6-2, and as I say, it was an easy try at the end, wasn't it? Wishart starts the game, but immediately a penalty goes to Canberra.
Yeah,
He's got the international Bobby Linder for being in front of the kicker.
Well, have a look at this. The simplest penalty. Bobby Linder's got no idea when the kick's being taken. He's a metre in front there. The player next to the kicker, so it's even more obvious. See, that's bad play from an international, from any player.
Well, we've had two internationals now. Steve Walters not playing the ball correctly, and Bob Linder getting in front of the kicker.
Well, you know, Illawarra should be down in Canberra's quarter, putting some pressure on the Canberra Raiders with their defence. Now they're struggling in their own quarter as Canberra raid away.
Walters to take the tap. Stewart, Hoppy through the dummy for Osborne, but he was commissioned to take the ball towards centre field. All of Canberra are on the left of the ruck, and they're in the centre of the ground. Watch it now. They're starting to form up as the play goes further left, but they've turned the ball over and Waddell comes away with it. Ready to come on for the Steelers is Jody Rudd in jumper number 14. Who he's coming on for, I'm not sure. Linda. He'd be very happy that Canberra made that mistake, which has cancelled out the glaring mistake that he made from the kick-off. Rodwell spears it across for Riolo to put it down the ground, and it's a good bounce for Sean Hoppy, further up the ground than was Gary Belcher. Hoppy 15, or should I say 8 metres short of the halfway. Osborne tackled by Michael Neal, but he was never in front of the man playing the ball, and Canberra gets another penalty. The penalty count must be horrifying at the moment for Graham Murray. It's up to 5-2 in favour of Canberra. Michael Neal the offender this time. 5-2 the penalties, but the scoreline is 6-2 to Canberra as well. And that's more important as Osborne is brought down. Walters, Stewart, Pongia. Linda with a good tackle got underneath the ribcage and drove. Cross came in as support. Stewart unloads for Lomax, the try scorer. Teitzel went in to take him, but he came off second best. Izzard made the tackle. Stewart away. Daly on for Mullins. Mullins tries to step in and away, but great tackle by Waddell. Gee, gets through some work, this man. Now Daly, Meninga, floating pass, Hoppy. He tries to step. They haven't shut him down. They have now. Rodwell. 5 gone. Meninga dummy half. Ferner ran the decoy. Stewart puts the kick over. He regathers and he gives the ball in one motion. Then Daly, then Ferner. That's a great try. Oh, Ricky Stewart. That's rugby league magic. That is rugby league magic from the little number 7.
Sensational play there by Stewart. Absolutely brilliant. But let me tell you, Laurie Daly played a big part as well. Sloppy pass, but away goes Stewart, the little one over, regathered on the full. Now Daly gets the ball under some pressure there, and look at this beautiful delayed pass there to Ferner, and a nice right foot step.
They're just off their game a little bit, Illawarra, aren't they? They've missed a lot of tackles, no one sweeping. It was the last tackle, and that's just beautiful hands there from Ricky Stewart. Caught the ball, got it away in one motion. Laurie Daly did a marvellous job. Ferner did well to be backing up. But I'm very surprised that no sweeper for Illawarra on the last tackle on their own 20-metre line.
Canberra putting tries almost back-to-back and really opening this Illawarra Steelers side up.
Too many mistakes by the Steelers, or the penalty count and plenty of drop ball by them, giving Canberra too much possession. Can't remember the last time that Illawarra had possession in the Canberra half.
10 points to 2. David Ferner with his 3rd attempt from right in front. The combination of Stewart and Daly, but wasn't Stewart so good? Ferner adds the extra 2, and 20 minutes of football gone. The siren has sounded, and Graham Murray, the coach of Illawarra, I'm sure he'd be the happiest man around to hear that siren sound. He wants to talk to the boys. 12-2, Canberra in front. With Canberra leading Illawarra by 12 points to 2. A convincing start to the match for the Raiders, a rather sloppy one for Illawarra. There's the stats for Peter Sterling.
The worst 20 minutes we've seen from Illawarra for a long, long time. Look at those missed tackles, 8-2. They've doubled the opposition in errors, and a lot of penalties awarded against them, 5-2. It's been all Canberra. They're lucky to be that close, Illawarra, after that opening 20 minutes.
Wishart restarts. Doesn't look for any distance. He keeps it fairly shallow, actually, and Belcher had to come forward very quickly to make the tackle. Illawarra have got a player on in jumper number 20 at the moment. Let me have a look at it. It's Teitzel who's changed his jumper from its original number 10 to jumper number 20 for anybody that's following their television guides. Walters.
It might sound a little bit strange, but I think that Illawarra have tried to be too aggressive to start this game, and their technique, especially in their defence, has gone out the window. Dean Skiffolides' attempt to tackle on the try scorer, the Paul Fine's touch there, Riolo let you go over, was a result of just trying to put a good shot on a guy instead of coming up with a good tackle. And the couple of plays leading up to Ricky Stewart putting on the try for Ferner was the same. Looking for big shots, and they're missing the tackles.
This is a real test for Illawarra. Sailing along so smoothly, everything they've done has been pretty much according to the textbook, but now they're looking at a 10-point deficit. Admittedly, the match is only 23 minutes old, but can they come back from here? Linda pulled down right on the halfway mark. Piccinelli met and pulled down by Lomax and Pongia. Skiffolides uses the second man play for John Cross to go 10 metres further down the ground. Now they come back left. They're going to try and beat the compressed defence here. Teitzel got involved, and that's what Peter Sterling is saying. If you're going to come quickly to an extremity of the ground and bring the compressed defence undone, you don't need too many people in the back line. Hoppy now, 15 metres out from his own line, flung down by Rodwisher. 12-2 then in favour of the Raiders. They use the long ball. Croker is in traffic and brought down 18 metres out from his own line. Osborne takes up a forward power play, and he's brought down 20 out. Now, Fern. That's the 30-metre line. 12-2 the score. The Green Machine looking every bit a machine in the first 20 minutes. The opposition made it easy for them, but we saw some really magical moments out there, particularly off the hands of Stewart. He's been the key man for Canberra, and there's that kick of his again, almost on a string, finding it 12 metres out.
Directing play beautifully, Ricky Stewart. It's interesting to watch the Raiders before this game. They warmed up for about half an hour out on the field, and even there Stewart was running the show, getting players to run options on him, inside plays. We've seen a try scored already from one of those, so what they've practiced has paid dividends.
He's desperate for the Australian number 7 back. O'Mara. McGregor across the face, and Riolo's brought down 30 out. Mullins the tackler, Rodwell the dummy half, Waddell the first receiver. And this Toiler takes it another 10 metres down the ground.
But even on that backline shot there, or half backline shot from the Raiders, when the defence is sliding against you, you start to run the same way. You start going across. Illawarra, if they're going to take them on, must run much straighter with the football. There's Linda going forward. They've got to hit the ball much straighter in attack.
Neal's pass across for O'Mara to put it on the boot, but cleaned up by Mal Meninga. Belcher. Walters. Pongi. Solid tackle on another of the New Zealand connection with Canberra. Osborne, we've only seen him a couple of times this year, but I've been impressed with some of the things Paul Osborne has been able to do for Canberra. He was an outstanding schoolboy prospect. Here's Daly.
I think the thing about Paul Osborne is it's been impressive is his work rate. He's keen to get involved in more than just one in a set of 6, and sometimes in the olden days he'd do something and we wouldn't see him for quite a while, but he's getting involved heavily, and the more he does, the better for Canberra, because he can offload a couple of neat passes.
Stewart again finding the line. Didn't have much time nor much area to work in, but that's the class of Ricky Stewart, or is it the slackness of the Illawarra defence today?
I think a little bit of both there. He had no right to come up with the play as good as that one. He was in bad kicking position, didn't have much room at all, and he still drove the ball, a grubber kick down 30, 40 metres.
Izzard playing the ball. Waddell. Correction, McGregor. Penalty goes to Illawarra. A couple of these Steelers are getting a bit light on top, Paul, and it's not hard to fall into the trap. McGregor this is, wrapped up by Pongia.
Looks quite fashionable, eh?
I wonder why he would say that.
I wonder why.
Now the tap.
More hair up your nose than on your head.
Piccinelli. Good run by Piccinelli, brought down eventually by Lomax. As it comes across to Riolo, quick ball by Cross. McGregor runs to the defence line. Oh, he was looking outside for Wishart, but he'd long gone inside. Now they go to the right, and it's Izzard with the ball. He takes it down 18 metres out from the line. That's tackle number 5 for the Steelers. To the right for Michael Neal, using the chip and chase. He might regather, he does, the little fellow, but I don't think Canberra touched it. That's the turnover, and Canberra will come away with it from 5 metres out from their own line.
A nice little variation there from Michael Neal. I thought he probably should have kept it on the toe as Ricky Stewart. He's having a wow of a game out there this afternoon. Look at that, he's beaten 3 or 4 defenders, still going.
Walters goes into dummy.
As I said before, Ray, they really are off their game, the Steelers.
Pongia did well. Bounced off a would-be tackle, then Meninga handled before handing it on to Osborne. And he's 30 metres out from his own line. Stewart. Waddell coming over the top. Linder underneath. Walters goes from dummy half. First time in the game the Australian hook has done that. Meninga supports him. Gives off a hit and spin for Lomax, who tries to do a similar thing. Picked up by Croker. But for all of that, Canberra went nowhere, and Illawarra put them away through Teitzel. Walters for Stewart, for Daly. Now Belcher steps back in. That's put about 3 Steelers in his wake, and now Pongia is brought down 40 metres out. They've done plenty of passing, Canberra, but they've made no headway. As Daly drops it onto the boot, Riolo is going to bring it off his own line.
It's an ominous sign. If the Canberra Raiders can keep the ball alive, something will happen. They're a little bit like Brisbane. They keep the ball alive until somebody finds himself in a gap, in a hole. And they're too dangerous to let them play that way.
Waddell comes from the field. 16 has gone out for Illawarra, and that's David Wanson. Wishart smothered by the Canberra defence. Nothing's really causing any problems for Canberra. That's Big Walsh that's on also for the Steelers. He's on in jumper number 17. That pass was forward to Wanson off the dummy half, allowed to go by Harrigan. He was back on the Canberra defence line. Rodwell puts the kick up and down towards Belcher, back on his own 20. Belcher runs towards Matthew Wood, but Brendan O'Mara read the play well and brings him down 30 metres out from the Canberra line. Meninga folds into first receiver. Now Croker, and he's put away by Piccinelli and Schifoletti. Firm. Tim Sheens, he'd have to be very comfortable at the moment. Lomax, out she comes. Schifoletti gives it away to McGregor. Now McGregor gets away from Mullins. Very dangerous player is Paul McGregor. Every time he handles, he represents danger. Penalty goes to Illawarra. That's against the marker. Walters for not standing directly in front of the man playing the ball. 17 goes on for Canberra, and that is Mark Corvo, and he replaces Paul Osborne. Illawarra electing not to take the shot, but in fact taking the line kick. Down 12-2. Izzard. They lost Dale Fritz, one of their best defenders, very early in the game. Walsh. Schifoletti. Neal. The 5/8's dropped out of the back line, and McGregor goes back into the centre. Then he tries to pass under pressure, and Mullins is tackled for Canberra. Well, that all went so badly there for the Illawarra Steelers.
Yeah, McGregor took the wrong option. They had some numbers out wide. This here, McGregor, they had Rodwell screaming onto the ball out wide, but he stepped back inside, and then the pass went astray. So that was Illawarra's best chance in the game so far to put points on the board, and they failed. Now Canberra too easily getting out of their own quarter up near the halfway line.
Stewart comes up, gets under Schiaffeletti, and eventually is put away by David Walsh. This is the last tackle for Canberra, charged down by Schiaffeletti off the kick of Daly. That's 6 more tackles, and Belcher it is that goes away for Canberra.
And what about the experience there? Gary Belcher picked the ball up, looked straight at the referee. Bill Harrigan waved the arm in the air to show that it was 6 again. Belcher realised that he could run the football instead of kicking.
Walters, Croker runs a pretty wide blindside. David Furner back to the bench now for a rest period. And both coaches will use the bench, I would imagine, a lot today. 31 degrees. They did forecast 33 tops as Corvo gets a pass that was forward. 12-2 in favour of Canberra.
7:30 Monday.
This is what I'm looking at.
Servicing the scrum. Wishart, as always, comes in and takes the first play. Izzard going away from dummy half, crossing the halfway mark, met by Walters and Stewart. Mullins makes a good thing of the tackle. 15 goes on. That's Jason Deeth for the Canberra side. Walsh. No marker at the moment. Now there is. Neil gets away, finds Piccinelli. He tries to go through, but Walters shuts the door on the attack. Neil, Schiaffeletti, Piccinelli, Rodwell. O'Mara's outside him. That's all he's got. He won't need him, though. He's broken through a gap, turns it inside, and Cross goes in to score for the Steelers. 12 points to 6. Brilliant work by Rodwell.
And with this defensive Canberra, it was going to take a piece of individualism to get through it. And it comes now in the form of Rodwell, one-on-one on Meninga, and just outpaced him. And away he went inside support. And good backing up there by John Cross. But Rodwell, he's a fine player, a very, very good player, and too much speed for Mel.
They're a marvellous centre pairing, Rodwell and McGregor. And you see here when Rodwell comes forward, Mal Meninga actually stops and then starts. Rodwell had too much pace, got outside him. Good work from John Cross to support inside. But that time we saw Rodwell hit the ball straight as well. I've been critical that they've gone across field too much. That time he went forward, straight, then around.
And really, they were going nowhere, the Steelers. They've done nothing with this ball, nothing at all. And it was going to take something out of the box, and Rodwell was the man who produced it. And hopefully that'll lift his teammates, because they do look out of sorts, they don't look keen, and that'll help them on the way.
Rodwell on camera, and there's plenty of people of the opinion that though McGregor gets most of the raps, this bloke's every bit is equal. And the more we see him doing things like that, the more I'm starting to believe it true. But as Peter said, a great centre combination is brewing there at the Steelers. Wishart does the dance and gets the 2 points. So here they come. The young Steelers are starting to come back. 12-8 Canberra. Teitzel back on the bench.
Realistically, Illawarra had to be the team to score next, didn't they? Canberra had scored.
Wood restarts for Canberra. With no Furner out there at the moment. And this man is Jody Rudd. Walsh from dummy half finding Piccinelli. Talk about workers, he is one of them. He works overtime with no penalty rates. Neil Piccinelli. The thing that impresses me about Illawarra is that many of them are so much younger than we think they are. But it just seems they've been around for so long, they're almost veterans, aren't they? The Schiaffelettis, the Piccinellis, the Rodwells, the Riolos. But they've built up a marvellous and mature understanding of each other. Today hasn't been a great example of it, but they're very healthy coming into the 1993 season. Stewart.
Well, we have said it before, Ray, but I do believe that they do resemble the Parramatta sides of the early 80s, coming through a lot of young players together. Showed plenty of skill. They did have a little bit of experience out there as well to help. And the Steelers, they've been in a semi-final series now. They're going to be better players for that also.
Well, those last two plays, Bill Harrigan has ignored the 5 metres completely. And I'm not a critic of Harrigan. I think he's one of our very best, but he just ignored the 5 metres. There was blatant offside. O'Mara. That's a good tackle by Croker. Walters comes off. Furner goes back on as Riolo tries to bring the ball back through a gap. Schifoletti. They stack the blind side, but Canberra match up the numbers. Waddell is back on. Neal cuts out Linda, goes behind for a second man play for John Cross. 12-8 to Canberra the score, almost to the halfway. And the big Tooheys logo prominent in the pictures. Piccinelli. Wishart keeps going, no Shepherd. McGregor back on the bench. Neal's pass might have been fractionally forward. Rodwell kicks, Belcher gives it. Stewart puts on the goofy step, but he's put down and tackled 25 out. This is Corvo.
Goofy step?
Oh, well, one of those steps. You know the type of two. Now it's Deef. 12-8 in favour of Canberra. 12-2 at quarter time, but the Steelers have come back by 6 points. Deef, Stewart, Daly, Belcher. Well, Daly's not happy with what happened there.
No, he was running across field looking for Gary Belcher to step back inside and take an inside ball, but it wasn't read properly, and Belcher continued on the outside, and something that could have come to fruition didn't.
Scrum to go down 30 metres away from Illawarra's line.
Illawarra getting a bit more possession now, and they're starting to look a lot better. I'd even say that try has picked them up in their enthusiasm, running a lot harder, and they're starting to look a lot better.
Rudd, Neal, Rodwell. Look at the power of that man when he hits the line. He doesn't slacken off. Only one speed. Schifoletti. Busy from dummy half. Cross, Neal. McGregor's going back on for the Steelers. As it comes quickly out to Bobby Linda. Out very wide. Picked up by Mullins. He lets the ball go. And it's gone into touch. But don't be surprised if, in fact, when he lost the ball, it came off the legs of Brett Mullins.
It was excellent defence.
Watch it closely, Pete.
Mullins shows a lot of strength to get Linda. Here, Bobby Linda appealed. Well, he lost it forward, Bob. He was going over the sideline anyway.
It made no difference to who would feed the scrum. I appreciate that. 7-2 the scrums. Or the penalties, I should have said. Daly for Meninga. Did well, held them at bay, and got it out to Mullins. 35 out from his line.
There's a nice piece of covering defence there by Riolo, who had been 3 or 4 players inside in the defensive line, but he just covered over in case something happened. Something did, because Mullins was away unless Riolo was there.
Fritz is on for his first time in the Canberra lineup, and what an indentation he made on that match we saw last week when he came on for Canberra against Newcastle, was it not? Or the Saints. It might have been the Saints match, but he really made an impact. Daly now. Meninga kicks ahead. Hoppy is expected to chase, but Riolo cleans up. Comes back beyond the 20-metre line, and nicely wrapped up by Furner. Teitzel goes back on. Linda comes off as the coaches continue to work overtime with their interchanges. Wishart ran into the waiting shoulder of Pongia. Schifoletti gives it to Teitzel. Neal goes with him, but Teitzel's got no hope of offloading. There's the siren, and that's the end of the first half. So, at the half-time break, there's your score. Canberra, after leading 12-2 at the 20th minute, lead 12-8 at half-time. start of the second half of this match between Illawarra and Canberra. The Raiders leading by 12 points to 8.
A little bit more possession there for Illawarra in the second quarter helped their cause, but still too many mistakes. Missed tackles 14-6. A lot of errors, and the biggest problem for Illawarra, they've been unforced errors. Scrum 7-3 do favour the Steelers, but of course Ricky Stewart finding touch so often, that was always going to be the case.
Start of the third quarter. Second quarter, a better one for Illawarra. It had to be. Harrigan blows time on, and David Furner sends it down for Rodwell to come back. And through the first attempt to tackle by Lomax, eventually pulled down by Osborne, together with Fritz, who Sheens has left on the park. Waddell plays it. Tyson. Spoke of a breeze at the start of the game. Only a very, very small breeze. It's with Illawarra for the second half. Rodwell. And Sean Hoppy coming back, getting between some fairly fragile defence by Illawarra. Croker.
The worst aspect of the game for both teams out there has been their marker defence. We've spoken in the past how defences are set by the ability of the markers to do a good job in the middle of the ruck, and both teams really have fallen down a lot of times in that area, and very good dummy half runners for both teams in Skiffaliti and Steve Walters.
Riolo has put all the Canberra players on side. Once you've played at the ball, if you make a mistake such as that, even if you're offside, in other words, if you're in front of the kicker, you can come inside the 10-metre ring. Rodwell. Izzard. Just pointing out again that Walters is still on the bench. Next to him, Bradley Clyde. Making good progress, I'm led to believe, as McGregor tries to get out and around. Pulled down by Daly. I was just going to remind our Illawarra viewers particularly that Dale Fritz only played probably 3 minutes of the game before leaving the ground with a groin injury as Canberra gets the penalty. A play the ball mistake made by Illawarra.
Bill Harrigan has signalled that, again, the ball was just rolled back through, wasn't touched by the foot. It was touched by the foot, but the player didn't get up on his feet to play the ball.
So a case of tit for tat here. He got Steve Walters for exactly the same penalty earlier. 6-4 the penalties to Canberra. Speaking of them, Lomax. From Deeth for Walters. Furner cuts back infield. Good piece of work by Furner, but then he brought it undone with a very shoddy pass and gave young Jason Deeth no hope at all.
Got a nice step on him, Furner. I've seen him use it time and time again in premiership matches, and it puts in a couple of left foot steps there, and the pass went astray.
What about the laziness once again of the Illawarra defence? They only moved up one side of the ruck. As soon as the play went back the other way, they had players there who were 10 yards from where they should have been.
Izzard plays it. Piccinelli goes ahead. He runs into a solid tackle from John Lomax. Neal, McGregor, Linda out wide, takes a look, the ball goes to ground. Hoppy dives on it for Canberra. They come up with the ball, and that's got to be a penalty. No, he's given 6 more tackles to Canberra. I thought he was going to give a penalty straight up. Stewart away now for Lomax, and Lomax is tackled on the first, 31 metres out. A chance for the Raiders here. Deeth is tackled, 22 metres out. Dummy half Croker. Stewart, Daly, Fritz. Straight and hard up towards the 20-metre line. That would be 4 tackles gone on this set. Stewart works the same way. Daly across the park. Beautiful ball. Belcher comes off his right foot. Tries to put Meninga down the ground. And Illawarra come up with the football, but it'll be a scrum. 10 metres out from the Illawarra line.
A sensational cutout play there by the Raiders. The ball went across Meninga to Belcher into some space to the inside ball of Meninga, and Mal flicked one out, looking for his winger, who had come inside, Hoppy. And this will be a Canberra feed because Wishart knocked the ball on.
Here they come now with Daly around the back for Belcher, wide for Mullins, tries to stand Rodwell up, he'll score, Mullins! He picked up another try in the Tooheys challenge. Well, he made it look all so simple, Brett Mullins, but he's picked up the 4-pointer for the Raiders to lead 16 points to 8.
Once again, another piece of individualism. Just a straight backline play, really, cut-out ball there. But from here, it's 2-on-2. The try shouldn't have been scored. Simple piece of a nice left-foot step. And the Illawarra cover was slow in getting over there.
You're always going to be in trouble when you've got a speed man getting outside you. Brett Mullins, probably the quickest player in the Canberra team, got outside Brett Rodwell, had a lot of space to work in, the big step. And that's a very good try. Good backline movement from Canberra. They gave space to their outside men.
Young Brett Mullins scored a runaway try for Canberra in that match up at Nambucca Heads, I think it was, against St George. So he picks up his second try of the Tooheys challenge. And David Ferner now with 2 out of 3 today. Started with an abysmal record in the Tooheys challenge of 1 out of 7. A strike rate of 14%. He's improved it a little bit today. 23 out, 13 in, coming around gently, but surely it does. And Canberra gets a further 2 points to lead now by 18 points to 8. Starting, and Fritz comes back like a man possessed. Certainly generates some power. Osborne. Meninga taking a run, but otherwise might have been taken by a forward. That's knocked down by the Steelers. It's 6 more tackles for Canberra. Ferner playing it, and they work the blindside play. Stewart taken by Neal and Waddell. Crowd figures just given to me 8,436 here at Bega's Recreation Oval. So the organisers would have to be tickled pink with that. 8,436. Ferner making some ground for Canberra.
It's a fine game for Canberra. Scored a try and made a lot of ground every time he's taken the ball up. So is Jason Deeth since coming on. His dummy half work and getting out of that area has been excellent. Kept the ball alive there. The 5th tackle now. Ricky Stewart calling for the ball.
Stewart the man to watch. That's him with the bullet-like pass that Daly puts in the air. A very high bomb. Riolo couldn't get to it. Daly did. Now it's with Mullins. The defence comes across. Mullins tries to beat them with a kick. It goes over the touchline. So the scrum will go down 10 metres away from the Illawarra line. Riolo had no hope of getting to it. Daly was able to regather his own kick. Eight 8-4 the scrums to Illawarra. Wishart playing it. McGregor coming into first receiver. And it's a penalty against Canberra. He indicated that one of the Illawarra players was held back by a Canberra player.
On that occasion as well, John Lomax came in. The tackle had already been effected, came in and pushed the tackle player down. So Illawarra now have possession 40 metres out from their own line. Big hit there on Teitzel, drives him back.
Earlier the penalties read 5-2 to Canberra. They're back to 6-5 in favour of the Raiders. Piccinelli. Now Michael Neal. Back for Schifoletti. Riolo. Wide ball left is required. Cross makes the mistake with McGregor. And capitalising on it is Daly for Canberra. They come quick to the left for Stewart. 12 metres into Illawarra's area. Pongi are getting ready to come on with Fulava. Deeth, Stewart, Croker, Meninga. Linda meeting the big man head on. Stewart coming to the blind. Face pass for Croker, then Belcher just raked the ball on, but Matthew Wood was an easy prey for the defence of O'Mara. Long ball by Stewart, about 15 metres of it. Daly kicks for the corner. Meninga goes down after it. Riolo smothered by Meninga. Wishart.
Oh, great little kick by Daly, and Mel read it well. He came through at 1,000 miles an hour. Look at him, it's an awesome sight, and just crunched Riolo.
Rodwell taking a penalty that ensued to the Illawarra side. Skipoletti. That's Walsh. Shoulder charge by Daly. And the upper part of the body rocked back with the impact. Riolo cross and McGregor for Rodwell. Rodwell splices through. Goes down inside the 40-metre line before he is confronted by Belcher. Riolo. Skipoletti. Teitzel. Shapes the pass, then runs. Gives it away for Wishart. Wishart, put down in a tremendous tackle out there.
It's Ricky Stewart, great cover defence. A beautiful ball from Teitzel, flicked out. Wishart looked like he'd score for all money, but there's the halfback coming across. We saw one from Belcher earlier. We saw that one from Ricky Stewart. Just great work by their cover defending personnel.
9 and 12. Walters and Pongi are going on. And Canberra will bring from the field young Furner. He, for one, is coming off. And the other one is Jason Croker. Great tackle by Stewart. Adding further reason to him taking away the MMI Insurance $500 Man of the Match award in this game today. He'd have to be a front runner for it. As we go to the blind side for Belcher.
So you'll vote then, Ray?
There's still quite a bit of football remaining, Paul. Hopping.
Well, he's got mind of date. He really has controlled things out there very well. As Pongia getting involved. It's been a much better performance from Canberra, I think, than what we've seen. I thought that a little bit scratchy against Newcastle, even against St George. It took a dramatic turn late in the game. They really came out and started this game very, very well.
Stewart firing it out. Daly puts the grubber through. Meninga's coming through fast. The ball goes forward.
Causing all sorts of problems there in behind the area with those little kicks. Meninga's involvement's been very, very good this afternoon. Trying to keep it alive. It was the last tackle.
Skipoletti. McGregor. 15 metres their side of the halfway. Teitzel comes off. Waddell goes on. Peccinelli. Walsh.
Good work, fellas. Your left, your left.
Neal. Izzard. Riolo. Linda's out wide on the outside. Now the inside. Oh, great dummy, Riolo. O'Mara comes up, but Riolo didn't realise he had the winger unmarked on his outside. Still a chance for the Steelers. Izzard across. Neal throws the dummy. Now he gives the pass for Peccinelli. Rodwell comes infield, gets away from 1 and 2, puts it into the end goal. I don't know that that was the right option.
Some great play there by Riolo. Made the initial break, got around Darren Fritz here in between Meninga and Fritz. Wasn't Meninga's fault. Fritz is a man who couldn't put it for pace, and the ankle tap there, that saved a certain try because Fritz had support on the outside in O'Mara.
Line dropout time for Canberra. Leading 18 points to 8, but right there, the Steelers serving notice that they're not out of this game yet. drop out of 50 metres by Stewart. 18-8 the Raiders over the Steelers. Izzard carries it back to a jolting tackle, and a penalty immediately goes to Illawarra.
Is this another one of these high tackles? I mean, that looked like just a very strong front-on tackle to me. Small man going in.
Well, I think Grant Izzard had a look on his face that he didn't know what the penalty was for as well.
So Osborne immediately is brought from the field and replaced by Corvo. 7-6 the penalties now. Illawarra has had a rash of them. Short pass for Izzard. Waddell. I mean, it's got to the stage, in a tight situation, all you've got to do is duck into a tackle, turn it into a high tackle, and you can win a match with a penalty right in front.
Could happen that way.
Oh, my word, it could. Piccinelli for Neal. McGregor searching for the opening. Rodwell tries to get the pass inside, but takes it out with him.
Oh, yes, taking bow once again, Gary Belcher. They're starting to open up the Raiders. There's Mel taking McGregor on. Beautiful little pass out the back. Fulavai staying with his man, and the number one across again. He's made a couple of those this afternoon.
Must be a very safe feeling to have a bloke like Belcher behind you. Meninga comes into 5/8 to take it away. Daly going out to the centres for the scrum. Was Fulavai. I think he's come out of it second best, just between you and I. Daly. Daly's got Mullins on his outside. Still goes Daly over the halfway mark. Will Riolo catch him? Daly turns it in. Mullins puts it down.
Play on.
But it's play on, and that's a try. Well,
Brett Mullins is the try scorer of Laurie Daly. He stood Brett Rodwell up, got outside the defence. Michael Neal coming across. He's a freak, this bloke. I think he's, along with Alan Langer, they're the two best players in the game. When Bradley Clyde comes back, he'll be the same. Look at that. Oh, what about that for footwork? Then the speed. He's just going to have one super season this year. The pass comes back inside. It's knocked down by Rod Wishart there. It's play on. Mullins knows, picks it up. Skiffolitti did well, as did Piccinelli to be there. Laurie Daly.
22-8. The Raiders almost shutting Illawarra out of it now.
Magnificent play there by Daly. And Wishart got the hand involved. And Mullins backed up on the inside all the way there. Good play by him. And there he is, a man who is destined to become one of the greats if he can stay on the field.
Mullins scores his second try.
What about the move Daly put on Rodwell?
Oh, yeah.
He stood him up. He went three different directions on three blades of grass, and he was away.
What did look good then was the pace that he showed. It's the first time we've seen him since he was injured last year get into the open, and I'll tell you, he's got all his old pace back.
The Steelers wondering what went wrong. I know I gave him a rap earlier, but I've got to say it. Rodwell's been made to miss a couple of times in defence in this game. I know anybody can be made to miss when it comes to Laurie Daly, but Rodwell's come up out of the line and got beaten a couple of times in the game. And both times, unfortunately for him, a try. Meninga's kick, not too bad. Hitting the upright, actually, but below the crossbar. So Canberra leads Illawarra by 22 points to 8.
Let's just watch this. Let's freeze the play here for a second. Now, this next 10 yards, this is poetry. Roll on from here. Watch what he does to Rodwell. Look at that. That's just magnificent play. Not many players in the game can put a move on like that. There's the pace that Paul Vorton's talking about. Michael Neal.
Well, Mick Neal gives up on Daly, and he tries to take
out of the road.
Another player out of the play. Maybe if he had it hung on, he might have been able to do something with Mullins.
They're back for the kickoff and the return by Fritz. Meninga putting it down. Neil comes up with it.
He made a mistake there, Mel, but he's had a great third quarter. He's leading from the front today, which is something he hasn't done the last couple of weeks, and, you know, it's good to see.
But we've been critical in the first 2 games that his involvement wasn't good. You can see that he was very keen to come up with a big performance. He's done that out there. He's chased very well.
Steelers now. They go onto the attack 20 metres out from Canberra's line with Neil Piccinelli. Neil comes from the open, links up on the blind with McGregor. Minga keeping pretty close quarters with McGregor. Now Linda on the blind side tries to run straight through the winger on the left, Boulevarde. O'Mara from dummy half. Neil, now Izzard, across for John Cross, and now out wide Riolo, put down, picked up by Canberra.
Well, that's the sort of day they're having, the Steelers. Had a 3-on-2 situation there. Should have been able to make something out of it. But the ball ended up on the deck.
It looks so promising. Corver taken down by Waddell. Walters using Lomax. Walters.
That's that ordinary marker defence I was talking about. A little one over the top from Lomax, but they've been able to get a roll on here just because the Illawarra markers didn't work.
And Hoppy it is, the last man to handle, as the quarter siren sounds. That's 3-quarter time, and Canberra lead Illawarra by 22 points to 8. Daly kicks off now. Illawarra, a lot of work to be done. 22 points to 8, almost requiring a miracle to take them to Dubbo for the final of the Tooheys Challenge and the right to defend their title that they won last year. It looks very much as though we're going to have Canberra versus Western Suburbs in Dubbo next Friday night.
There's little doubt about that, Ray. It hasn't been a good performance from Illawarra, but I am one of their fans. I think they will have a good season. Of course, they've got some class players to come back. McGregor flicks it back inside to Piccinelli.
The big fella crosses the halfway mark and takes it down 10 metres inside Canberra's area. Still going, Piccinelli, before eventually Walters put a tackle on him. McGregor sadly lacking in support there. Schifoletti back for Rodwell, who puts the bomb up. Now most of these players are in front of the kicker. Canberra comes up with it. They could have easily come up with a penalty rather than just to play the ball.
Great take once again from Gary Belcher. He's had a fine match out there. Kick going up, had a little bit of time to take it. Wishart coming through. But for Illawarra, just going back to those players that were speaking to Graham Murray today, the likes of John Simon, Alan McIndoe are back in action, Ian Russell, Craig Izzard. So enormous depth at the club.
Fritz. With Ian Russell, one tends to forget about Ian Russell. He's arguably their most skillful player. He's been out for so long, one tends to forget about the value of the man.
I think he's the sort of player, Ray, that can take Illawarra from being a top 3 team to a true premiership contender, a team capable of winning a grand final. I think he's the sort of player that just gives them that edge with the skill he possesses.
Rudd, 30 metres out. Izzard getting a well-earned rest. Rodwell feeding it on for Teitzel, but Mullins is right next door to him when he receives the ball. Rodwell comes away from dummy half. Walters round the legs, Lomax to the top. Schifoletti to the halfway. Neil. Cordon of Canberra defence around him. Piccinelli plays it. 5 gone. Cross. Drops it onto the right foot. Sends it down into the in goal. It'll go over the dead ball line. No, it won't. It's coming back. Cross leads the run down the park, the chase. But Canberra able to get it back into the field of play. That's a good piece of work there by Hoppy. Now Belcher's got to do the same. Daly scurries in and scurries out. 8 metres out from their own line. A couple more of these, and then back for the kick by Stewart. Pongia on the 4th. Fritz running in behind the play, the ball. The markers split open. Now, Stewart for the kick. Not there. Daly's with it. Mullins, they decide to pass on the last. Mullins gets a pass away in desperation. No need for it, really, when one looks at the scoreboard. Neil, Skiffaletti, O'Mara, tackled 30 metres out. Neil again. Tyson. Hand off for Rodwell. Picked off by Hoppy. Neil again. Wishart gone without it. Daly accepts for Canberra. Takes the tackle there of David Walsh. Stewart. Floating pass to Meninga. Still Canberra bogged down on their own 10-metre line. Deep. Lomax. Good work. Meninga, he didn't need that pass. It was a sitting duck for the tackle by Rudd. Stewart shows it for Daly. I beg your pardon, on for Belcher and out now for Hoppy. Ferner goes back on for Canberra in 11. Stewart gets a kick in under pressure. Riolo brings it back off his 40-metre line, goes past Hoppy, comes to Walters and he's put down. 22 points to 8 in favour of the Raiders. Illawarra desperate for a converted try. O'Mara. 17 is Walsh. Skiffaletti. Tyson. Good defence by Canberra. Shutting the ball down. Neil. Cross. Izzard fades inside, runs the decoy. Cross goes for the corner. He's pulled down. Tackle number 5. This is the one they need. Michael Neal puts the kick across. Oh, the winger's a mile back. Nobody knew that Michael Neal was going to do that. That is bad communication by the Steelers. Have a look at the winger for whom this kick is meant. Here he is back here, further back than Fatty.
Having a bit of a rest. I possibly could have got there though, Ray.
Line dropout time.
But in the end, Full-of-Eye carried it over, so it'll be a dropout. Forlorn hope now for Illawarra. They can't win the match. But Graham Murray would like to see them finish off. They're looking a lot better. Mick Neal's got a lot more involved, and he's controlling their play now, getting the rucks going the right way.
Neal. O'Mara. He's playing closer to the rucks now. O'Mara. Rudd has gone to the wing position.
Again, McGregor, when he took the football, the man outside him was Steve Waddell. I don't think Waddell and Teitzel are the players who should be out there getting passes from the centres or giving the passes to the centres.
That was a great tackle by Corvo on Walsh. Teitzel. He's doing everything right, Teitzel, apart from getting the ball away, and that's to the credit of Canberra. Their defence on Teitzel has been very good today. Izzard. Neil. Now the winger is in position to do something about it, but Full-of-Eye goes back, cleans up. And I thought for a moment he'd been grasped in goal, but Canberra able to bring it away with a pass and then about 3 metres of gain for Ricky Stewart. Walters. Ferner. Osborne. They're good yards. Getting them away from the danger zone. Corvo. Stewart. Pongia. Oh, see, that's just a touch of the inexperience coming out in Pongia. Looking at the scoreboard, there's no need for flash stuff from Canberra. Rodwell uses Wishart. That was a good tackle by Croker.
Just in Pongia's defence there, I can't understand why Canberra didn't kick the football anyway. They've just got to play it down the other end.
Tyson.
He's worked hard again, hasn't he, Craig Teitzel?
Yeah.
Taking the ball forward all afternoon. tough day for the big men out there. Very warm. Players getting tired now.
Dean Skiffeletti plays it. Neil, cross, the run around, the long ball. McGregor out wide. And McGregor put over the sideline by Brett Mullins.
Another case of overcrowding there. McGregor could have nearly been pulled up for a shepherd as he runs now, and nearly a case of shepherd, but too good, the Canberra defence. This defence of theirs has worked today.
Yeah.
Illawarra have, their breaks have been very rare.
Six the scrum count to Illawarra, but every scrum has gone with the feed. Belcher. Pongia. I mentioned that O'Mara is playing closer to the rucks. He's actually playing at 5/8. And Rudd is playing on the wing that O'Mara previously occupied. Fritz in 16 for Canberra, about to come back on. Meninga tries to find an opening to put Belcher through, but the gate is shut by O'Mara. Walters. Nearly to the halfway. Picks up Jason Croker. Furness coming up on the outside of him, but Croker was sadly lacking support play close to him. From Belcher to Daly, back for Belcher. Belcher grubs ahead. A race for the ball. Will a penalty be given? A penalty to Illawarra, in fact.
Dean Skiffletti's copped a boot right at the end there after diving on the ball. You're going to see one of the Canberra players. Is that Corvo being called out?
Yes, it is.
He was the man chasing and lashed out with the boot. He's copped Skiffeletti around the rib area. Doesn't look that healthy lying down on the line. No further action taken apart from the penalty.
This was the kick through by Gary Belcher. Now, there's Corvo with the knee.
I'll tell you what, that was no accident.
Right in the back of Dean Skiffeletti. So with the Illawarra captain still receiving attention, the Steelers go for the line. An appeal by Canberra for a touch in flight. Skiffeletti back on his feet. Waddell. Neil. O'Mara. Solid defence has been pretty much the order of the day from Canberra. Linda turning it inside for Piccinelli. 22-8. Canberra had all of the first 20 minutes. Illawarra clawed their way back in the second quarter, but then Canberra again asserted their authority and superiority in that third quarter. Izzard. This is the last. Neil across the face, looking for the wingers again. Fulavai gets a favourable bounce. Then is away from one, but not from Michael Neil. 20 metres out from the Canberra line. Stewart runs to McGregor, gets out of his tackle, finds Fulavai again, and they've gained a further 15 metres by their persistence. Canberra coach Tim Sheens. He'd be delighted with this performance today. Fritz. Lomax. There's 7 minutes of this game remaining. And it'll be the end of the second semi-final, and then, of course, Osborne throws the big dummy. Here comes the speed men, away for Hoppy. The pass was a bad one for him. He's tackled on 5. Great work by Osborne, however. Wide ball coming from Walters for Stewart. Along the line for Daly. Now Meninga floats it out. Taken on one hand by Fulavai. Inside and touched. This will be a try. Mullins will get his third. That's 3 for the day for Brett Mullins.
Yes.
Well, Osborne started it.
He did. Nice little feint and a dummy, and away he went. The big legs were pumping. But Illawarra's defence couldn't cover that situation. Then they had the big back line set to the left. Simply a matter of numbers. And in the end, it was a nice pass from Meninga. Osborne, this is a beautiful little dummy. which probably shouldn't have been taken. Waddell didn't come over in cover, and he was too slow, and he looks good out there in the open spaces. And then from there, it had to go left. And it's a nice pass here from Meninga, who he cuts out 2 players, and a floater. The Illawarra defence had come up, should have stayed back, and from there it was another mistake. Rudd hasn't had a happy 5 minutes there, and Mullins get his 3rd try.
Conversion attempt for young Ferner. From close range, he shouldn't make any mistake, and he doesn't. So Canberra stretching their lead to 28 points to 8. About 6 or 7 minutes of time remaining. Spell. 6 minutes exactly to go according to our clock. Fine game from Rick Stewart.
A fine game from Brett Mullins as well. He hasn't just scored 3 tries out there this afternoon. He's defended very well. He's gone into the centre position. David Boyle started there in the early games as Fritz takes the ball up, but he's handled the job very, very well, Brett Mullins, normally on the wing.
Another high tackle from Piccinelli here. Fritz, a bit of push and shove.
Well, here's Fritz copping it.
Now, that is a high tackle, because Fritz is 9'9", and Piccinelli jumped up to take him in around the neck.
Anyway, Harrigan's given the penalty to Canberra. As I said, a bit of push and shove there. Steve Walters and Craig Teitzel. I don't know whether that's a wise idea, Steve. Have a look at the size of this bloke, Fritz, would you? Steve Walters can walk under his chin and still have a couple of inches to spare. 8-7 the penalties to Illawarra. Canberra, are they finished yet? They're enjoying this. Fritz takes it up hard. David Walsh took him solidly, though, and Fritz has come out of it second best. He's limping, Fritz, the big man. Osborne plays it 40 metres out. Here's Walters going across. Oh, Steve Walters. I'm sure that pass was forward after all of that. Referee Harrigan's played the advantage, and Wishart comes back towards halfway.
Been limited opportunities for Rod Wishart. Thought he might have scored down the corner, but Ricky Stewart came up with a great try saver. Closed him down on that wing pretty well.
Michael Neal. O'Mara giving it to Teitzel. And Ferner's around the legs. Walters over the top. He's worked hard in defence, Steve Walters, today. Here's McGregor. The organised attack and defence has been lacking with the Steelers today. O'Mara finding Riolo coming into his back line, but again Croker. And mark him down too. He's made some good tackles. He got an assist that time from Mullins. Ricky Stewart having a natter there with Coach Sheens. I don't think he'd put Stewart back into the game. Linder makes a fine run. Then it was Neal. Now Piccinelli. Now Rudd. He'll go for the corner and puts it down. Illawarra just making or putting a bit of respectability back into the scoreboard. 28-12. They're down. They're well beaten, but they get a try near the end of this game.
Yeah, nice piece of work by Illawarra. Still trying hard. Linder was instrumental. Burst. That inside pass has caused some problems for Canberra today, and Piccinelli involved the second time. Fool of I should have made that tackle, but they had Rudd had some momentum and over he went.
Yeah, it's a nice flourish at the end there for Illawarra to finish on. Just keeping the ball alive. As I said, a lot of players getting tired now. Canberra falling off some tackles. They've gone back into the comfort zone, back into second gear. They've got a big lead. They'll go through. They'll face Western Suburbs next week, and they'll be very confident after this performance. Jody Rudd, the replacement player, scoring the try. Mel's got the ball under the arm. Might just take that one home.
He's had a good game, the Canberra captain today.
He would sweat in the swimming pool, Mel.
Been a real stinker, really, down here. 31, 32 degrees. The beaches were very popular this morning.
And so are the golf courses.
Wishart. 2 from 2. Here he is from the touchline. There's the Wishart dance. And in flight looks beautiful. Oh, great kick. Great kick. 28-14, Canberra over Illawarra. That's how it looked to the touchies. Rodwisher. 28-14, Canberra the leaders.
A lot of the credit for Canberra's win today goes to their front row, the three front rows that have been used in Lomax, Osborne and
Fritz,
the other crocodile, Fritz. They've all done their part. They've played well. They've taken the ball forward all day and offloaded when they could. But the main thing is they took those yards. They've given the Canberra backs plenty of room to move, and Stewart and Daly have worked some magic. Mullins has been outstanding.
Canberra winning the scrum. That's Jason Death out from the back of the scrum. Graham Murray not at all impressed, I would imagine. Croker tackled 8 metres out from the line. We're getting pretty close to full time, but Canberra, I get the feeling, aren't finished as yet. Their day at the office is not complete. Ball played by Wood. They go right from Walters, picking up Osborne. Osborne is put down. A two-man Illawarra tackle 2 metres out from the line. Slow play the ball will help Illawarra. Now it's away for Croker. Croker dummies to the outside, goes back to the centre. Riolo makes the tackle. And there's the siren in the background. It's all over. The second semi-final won by Canberra. They go to the final at Dubbo to meet the Magpies. They've beaten the Steelers by 28 points to 14. He comes from this neck of the woods. He's done just about everything in rugby league. Gillespie representing his country, winning grand finals. And talking of winning, West haven't done that in first grade since 1977. Here's their team tonight. Leeds, Willis, O'Day, Hill, Bell, Langback, Taylor, Britt, Mesher, White, Gillespie. He leads the Magpies, as we've said, Carney and Liddon. A beautiful night in Dubbo. The coach of Western Suburbs, of course, is Warren Ryan. And a very big crowd is on hand. Probably around 10,000, I would say. Still blue skies, the order of the day. The lights yet to take effect. And the Magpies came here with wins over Parramatta, Cronulla and South Sydney. And now Mal Meninga brings out the green machine. They've been in superb form, haven't they? They won the first of the pre-seasons back in 1990. That was after their Winfield Cup victory in 1989, I should say. And to come here, they beat Newcastle, St George and Illawarra. Mal Meninga takes the Raiders out as we check their full list for this game tonight. Tim Sheens is their coach. And at fullback is Belcher. Then it's Mullins. He was under a cloud. Meninga, Boyle is back. Hoppy, Daly, Stewart, Osborne, Walters, Lomax, Ferner, Pongia and Croker. It should be a magnificent final. Both these sides have been keen to throw the ball about. They both have scored 11 tries coming through to the final. Fireworks. David Ferner does that. There's $200,000 waiting for the winners in 80 minutes from now, plus some time out. And Mark Bell, a former Raider, takes it back to the 20-metre line. Liddon now. Second touch of the ball for the Magpies. Mesher is the dummy half. Darren Britt taken down very quickly, very effectively by the Canberra defence. Now White. The pass from the dummy half may have been a shade forward. Away to the right for Taylor. Gets a long face ball on for Terry Hill. Hill has been in superb form. And his confrontation with Meninga is probably worth the price of admission alone. Taylor's kick allowed to bounce by Mullins, the scorer of 4 tries in the challenge this year. He got away from Steve O'Day, but not from David Gillespie. And now Belcher goes into dummy half and makes the 30-metre line before an avalanche of Western Suburbs defenders put him to ground.
You mentioned one of the clashes out there tonight, Ray. One of the more important ones, in my belief, is going to be the kicking game. 2 of the best in the game, putting the boot to ball, is Jason Taylor and, of course, for Canberra, Ricky Stewart. They'll be looking to play good field position, drive the ball deep, not necessarily fine touch. Just make sure they're playing at the right end of the field, and there's Stewart. Andrew Leeds in good position.
Well, Mark Bell, the teammate of Andrew Leeds in the newspapers, was hailing Gary Belcher as the best fullback in the game today, but I think Mark Bell may have had the tongue just a fraction in the cheek, because behind him in the Magpies team is Andrew Leeds, and let me assure you, nobody's playing in the number 1 shirt as well as Andrew Leeds. Carney plays it, Langmax with it, had a bit of a pirouette, got a bad ball. Hill does a beautiful fend, then he stands in Meninga's tackle, looks to offer, looks for a runner, nobody there. Put away by Croker over the top of Meninga down low. And now it's with Taylor. Cuts out White, finds Britt. Britt looks to offload. Coming through was Liddon. They're on the 40-metre line. This is the last tackle. Taylor's with it. Now Langmack. Quick ball. O'Day. Now Willis. Willis tries to run away from Mullins. Leaves the ball behind him. O'Day cleans it up, but referee McCallum will turn the ball over. Ruling was correct. Some of the crowd giving a little heckle there to McCallum. Sideline, Steve Roach for the final.
Yeah, great conditions here. Very calm at the moment. And I don't know if you've noticed, Ray, the armbands on the referee and the touch judges are for Frank Johnson, the former referee, and he was also a Kangaroo in 1948. He passed away. Great man, Frank Johnson. And he was always at the ready. If one wanted some advice on the rules of the game, he was there for you. Great player, tremendous administrator. Daly turns it inside. Meninga makes a half break. It's more than a half break. It's a full break. Gives it to Croker. Croker goes all the way. First point to the challenge title. Croker gets the try. Meninga through a giant hole.
And that's the Mal Meninga we all know of. Burst onto that inside ball. Western Suburbs were caught short in defence there as Canberra threw the ball out. A couple of long passes, got rid of most of the West defenders. There you've got 3 on 2. There's another winger outside, and a missed tackle there by Langmack inside. Meninga striding away. Great support by Croker. Shut the gate.
Yes, a very good start there by Canberra. They had numbers everywhere. In fact, if Mal Meninga had stayed on the outside, they had an overlap to the outside. Meninga decided to go inside. It's a fairly ordinary defence from Western Suburbs. They didn't show a great deal of intensity. We see the start of this play. Jason Taylor rushes up very quickly to get involved, and he makes a couple of mistakes here. He's gone quickly there. They're outnumbered there. As we freeze the play there, there's Jason Taylor at the back there. He'd rushed up quickly. He's taken his time to get back as play rolls on. You'll see Mal Meninga come inside now. Jason Taylor, it's too late then. The bird had flown. Meninga too much speed. If he'd have shown some urgency and chased in the first place, he may have come up with the tackle, but he just overread the situation. And that's all you've got to do to pay the penalty against the Raiders.
David Furner. 42% strike rate. 5 from 12 during the series. From right in front, they don't come any easier. And the son of the chairman of selectors picks up a further 2 points for the Green Machine. And they looked every bit a machine, didn't they, as the big fella strode into open pasture. Canberra 6 leading the Magpies 0. Opening minutes of the Tooheys Challenge final for 93. Taylor placing the ball for the restart. West have got to pick themselves up, dust themselves off, try and get it out of their mind. Go back to the game plan set for them by Warren Ryan and come at it again. Croker, buoyed by the try. Tackled 10 metres out from his line. Played back and away from Walters. It's in the hands of Pongia. A hit and spin away from Langmack. Runs into Hill. Hill gets an assist from Mark Bell as Pongia, the young New Zealander, plays it. Osborne runs a wide blindside. Had a good start to the year, Osborne. He shed a few kilos. Away from Stewart. In the hands of Furman. Put down by Britt. 12 metres on the Canberra side of halfway. Stewart fending away from 2. Magpie attempts at tackle, and then he's able to find the line with consummate ease. He does it all so easily, Stewart. 2 Magpies came at him. He brushed them away like flies on a hot day. Made time for himself, made space for himself. There it is again. And then plonks the ball neatly into touch. 33 metres out from the Western Suburbs line. Taylor to work it. McCallum, this is his first scrum. He's telling them what he wants. Would have already told the halfback he simply wants it in the tunnel. Taylor, Langmack, leads, folds in from fullback. Now Steve O'Day, quick hands for Willis. But there's that sliding Canberra defence, and Mullins was the man to make the tackle. Langmack wrapped up and put away by Daly in the 6, and Ferner was up there first man. Now White. Mesher back and away. Taylor uses a second man play. Gillespie got a pass away. Carney, the young man, did well. Wasn't meant for him, but he made himself available. Now Taylor, short ball for Terry Hill. Runs away from Meninga. Gets it down 35 metres out from the Canberra line. Meninga sweating on Hill. Everywhere the youngster goes, Meninga is not too far away. Mark Bell made the extra man. O'Day takes it inside the 20, and Leeds takes it down further. Flings the pass inside. Willis takes the ball for the Magpies. They keep it alive. There's a Harbour Bridge pass over to Brett. Now it's back for Taylor. Puts the grubber across. Hill's coming fast, but so too is Ricky Stewart. And Stewart will take it into touch in goal.
Oh, great rugby league. Very good work from Western Suburbs. The last tackle, they're running the football. Jason Taylor throwing some long cutout passes. Andrew Leach did well, as does Darren Britt here. He gets involved. There he is now. He knows it's the last. Takes the ball, finds Jason Taylor. A little kick over very nicely. Weighted kick into the in-goal. Stewart there to clean up.
I'll tell you what, Peter, there's a great piece of halfback covering play there by Ricky Stewart, because when that ball went out on the left side of the field, he was over there to make a half-fly covering tackle on the opposition, on the opposite sideline. He also was there to pick up that kick.
Well, he's in great form, but I like the way that Western Suburbs are looking to hit back. They're running straight with a lot of different angles, inside runners, the second man pass. I was critical last week of Illawarra not running straight enough. If you're going to take on a sliding defence, you must go to them and commit them.
Bell carries the line drop out back from 35 metres out from his own line, so Canberra really got good yardage off that line drop out. This is Britt. Taylor, Langmack, O'Day, Leeds is on his outside. Oh, what a tackle by David Boyle. That was a real Bobby Dazzler of a tackle. Carney now. Mesher away, blindside run for Gillespie. Now Leeds. Leeds calls Willis inside. Willis put down 15 out. This is the last. Leeds. Langmack. Taylor runs to the defence line. Ball goes loose. Langmack picks up. Bomb goes into the air. Came off a Western Suburbs shoulder, I feel, but then raked into the in goal. He'll probably play the first breach, I think. And that would be the ball deflected forward by the Magpies.
Well, he hasn't. He's played the rake back, and it's a dropout under the sticks. I thought it came off Langmack's shoulders. There it is there. It's come off Langmack's arm.
No doubt in the world about it.
It's gone forward. So a mistake made there by the ref.
What Stewart did in the in goal is irrelevant. The first breach was made by Langmack, and the ball propelled forward off him. It should have been a scrum 10 metres out with Canberra's loose head and feed. Steve Roach, sideline.
Well, I can't believe Canberra's defence. When they catch Western Suburbs on a sideline, they're only defending half the park. They're inviting Western Suburbs to run around them. If they do it enough times, they'll get there.
Easier said than done, though, Steve, against Canberra. Gillespie.
There's no doubt that's the way Wests are going to play it. They'll run it on the fifth tackle a lot tonight. And if it breaks down out wide, someone will kick. You see Terry Hill getting involved again. Jason Taylor running proceedings. They'll go wide after making a little bit of a dent up the middle whenever possible.
There's White. Hand off away. Mesher tackled. 5 tackles gone now for the Magpies. Carney dummy half. Taylor cut-out pass. Langmack waits it into the in goal. Nicely put down there. Belcher's there to mark it, though. And so it'll come back to the 22 for the restart.
Yeah, I disagree with you, Ray. I thought it was a very ordinary kick. He kicked for himself. He had men out wide and ended up being a nothing kick. Gave Gary Belcher a very easy catch. He's got a couple of players out there. It wasn't high enough so that he was going to arrive at the same time. Bad kick.
Penalty goes against the Magpies for stealing the ball. Then he's advanced the mark for back-chatting against the number 9, the hooker for Western Suburbs. This is Osborne taking it up. He's hit by Carney and by young Mesha. Mesha is penalised for raking it out. And then he's advanced the mark a further 10 for back-chatting. If you're keeping a penalty statistic on the game, the advancement of the mark does not count as a penalty. Now the tap taken by Walters. This is Lomax, one of the very good starters to the year for Canberra. Osborne. I made that point about the penalty because if it does get down to everything equal and it comes down to a penalty count back, it can be vital that you've got it exactly right. Played by Gillespie. This is O'Day.
Bad ball there from Pongia trying to keep it alive. It's okay to look to advance the football, but you need to pass the ball to someone under less pressure than yourself. That really was just giving the ball away.
This bloke's played well so far this year. Kyle White is a vastly improved player, mainly on the score of involvement. Now Taylor, over the halfway, picks up leads, looking for work tonight. He's living in the back line. 5 tackles gone. West get the penalty. Taylor will probably take the shot. Now he's got Canberra for back-chatting and advanced the mark again.
Well, he advanced it about 4 metres. They didn't do too well out of that 10-metre advancement. You see Andrew Luke's trying to play the football. Jason Croker picks the legs up.
Ponga had his hand on top of the man playing the ball as well. You can't do that. Then the back chat, and this is an opportunity now for Western Suburbs to get back into the game after the early try by the Raiders. They lead 6-0, and West need these 2 points. They've been camped down in Canberra's half now for the last, 5-6 minutes and played some good football. They're going to try and run around Canberra's defence all night. Had some success. They've made plenty of ground. But Canberra's last-hit screaming defences held them out at this stage.
What's that chat going on, do you think, Blocker, between Meninga and McCallum? Have you got a clue on it?
Yeah, I'm sure that if you just asking him, as his players got the right to lay on him a bit longer, I think he's calling the penalty a bit too early.
McCallum, as you can see, or you just saw, is wired for sound. And I don't know that that is going to continue into the Winfield Cup, which, of course, starts next Friday. And we've gotten you used to Friday night football early this year. It will continue from Bruce Stadium next Friday. Taylor's kick coming around and the flags go up, as they so often do. 75% strike rate in the challenge. Canberra leading the Magpies 6-2. Lighting starting to take its effect now on this Apex Park at Dubbo. And this crowd is swollen even in the last half hour. It's easily into 5 figures, which must be rewarding to and comforting to these people that have put it together. So many people have done so much work. Curators at Dubbo, organisers at Dubbo, the Tooheys people, the Rugby League, the clubs that have participated. And the people of Dubbo have come out in many more numbers this year than last.
Well, very ordinary work there on 2 counts from Western Suburbs. They didn't catch the ball on the full. That gave Canberra a great chase. And then from the play the ball situation, very lazy play the ball allowed the Canberra player to rake it back. Fortunately for Western Suburbs, a mistake was made, but pretty sloppy play there from the Maggies.
So West coming up with the scrum win. It went according to the feed. Terry Hill played it. Daly held him down as long as he could, and I fancy he had something to say to him too. A little bit of sledging there probably. Britt takes it up strong each and every time he comes into the action.
Sledging, Ray might have just asked him how he was.
That's
family.
Right. So Gillespie's been penalised for passing from the ground. Gillespie was tackled, the arm carrying the ball, McCallum indicated, touched the ground. It didn't, you know. It didn't. And David Gillespie felt, and I'm sure he was right in what he did. A little smile on the Western Suburbs captain face. But David Furner will wipe it from it if, in fact, he's able to kick this penalty goal from 40 metres out. McCallum is taking in some liquid. David Furner is right on the 40-metre line and right in the centre of the park. Steve Roach.
Yeah, there's two players that have impressed me mostly tonight. The Canberra Raiders, Jason Croker has had a magnificent game early, and also Kyle White for the Western Suburbs side has been going very strongly.
Thank you, Steve. As young Furner tries to ready himself to make it 2 out of 2. I'm wondering which of the back row is going to have to make way eventually for the return of Bradley Clyde. They've each done their job well. Furner's kick looks okay. It's straight so far, remains on line. 2 further points for Canberra. They lead by 8 points to 2 now. Latter stages of the first quarter. Taylor with the ball back to halfway.
Western Suburbs has thrown plenty at the Canberra team in his first 20 minutes. The Raiders lead on the scoreboard, and defensively they've been very good. Steve Roach pointed out they're going to try and go around them, but they're so well drilled in their defence. It's a difficult task. The West really just have to keep persevering. Make sure their support play is very good. Every time someone takes it up, someone must be there.
This is Pond, just outside his own 20-metre line. Walters going for his first scamper out of dummy half tonight. One of the Magpies got hurt in the tackle there. I think it was a clash of heads with one of his own players. It is Langmack, Peter, you're right, but Stewart, he just drops it onto the right foot, sends it way down the ground. They're out of the danger zone, and a kick of 50-odd metres for Ricky Stewart finds the line. And there's Bradley Clyde sitting with the other Canberra players down by the bench. Many people believe him to be the best player in rugby league today. Little gash there on the left cheekbone of Paul Langmack as West win the scrum, and Andrew Leeds stood in at 5'8" that time. But you notice that Georgalis has taken the field for Western Suburbs. This is White. 40 metres out from their own line. Georgalis for Langmack. Steve Roach.
Yeah, Paul Langmack just trotting off to the sheds to get a cut under his eye stitched up. He'll be back.
Carney to play it near the halfway. Taylor. Long ball for Georgalis. Short ball for Darren Britt. And he's brought down on the Canberra 42-yard line. Taylor. Working hard, Jason Taylor. He's pulled on every piece of experience he's got. Hoppy. His first touch of the ball. Stewart. Bell wraps him up from behind. Dummy from Hoppy at dummy half. Good involvement by the New Zealand winger.
An easy yards, 20 metres and 3 tackles.
Meninga away. Osborne takes it up but meets Britt. Lomax. Stewart. And a good kick again. A raking, grubbing kick of some 25 metres, done with comfort and finding the line 45 out from the Western Suburbs line.
There's great awareness, Ricky Stewart. I was just watching one of the scrums earlier. Gary Belcher got involved in the first tackle from the scrum. Stewart saw there was nobody at home. They were vulnerable at the back if there'd been a kick put in. He was straight back there. He really has a look around the field and works out where he is best suited. That was just one example of it. He got back there, knew that there was a little bit of danger there, covered it up. Paul Vorton pointed out earlier on, he came up with a cover defending tackle on one side of the field, was there to clean up on the other. He does cover a lot of ground.
Callum just giving a caution there to John Lomax about the height of his tackles as the ball goes quickly along the Western Suburbs back line, beautifully out to Willis, and then Willis is crunched into the ground by the Canberra defence very close to the sideline, and The siren has sounded. I thought for a moment Canberra were of the opinion that Darren Willis had gone into touch. But in fact, the Canberra players were saying to McCallum, there's the siren. And in fact, Monday week at 6:30. Canberra gets us off in the second quarter, as they did for the first. Leeds immediately asks Jason Liddon to go away. Comes from the same town, the same very small town of Junee, as does Laurie Daly, and very close are the two families. I'm sure they'd dearly love to be playing shoulder to shoulder, but such is not the case. Away now from Taylor for Terry Hill.
It's almost like Warren Ryan's given Terry Hill a mission tonight to put pressure on Meninga and try and run around him. He did on one occasion early in the match, but on all other occasions, Mal has been equal to the task.
Taylor with a long pass. Jurgalis put it down behind him. Oh, he's passed it with his back turned, and Stewart, like a thief in the night, picks up a try for Canberra. Oh, no.
Well, the best thing you can say, Ray, is it was a good pass. It got him on the chest.
Well, that's right, Pete. Let's see it again. Let's see exactly what happens here. Jurgalis loses it behind him. He hears the call from Ricky Stewart, and Ricky says thank you and takes off, like Ali Baba and the 40 Thieves.
Yeah, very easy for Stewart, but the old rule, you should never pass the ball with your back turned. And Steve Jurgalis, unfortunate mistake then, because he's played very well in this competition.
It was the last tackle, but he was also too flat, wasn't he? The pass from Taylor went behind him. Good work from Stewart to be going through, putting pressure on, and he made his own luck. He put himself in the right position. Poor old Steve, he wanted to pull that one back, but it went to that man there, and he had a fairly simple run to the line.
2 out of 2 for David Furner. He won't get an easier kick tonight than this. 12 metres out. A hush comes over the crowd. Well, there's the conversion. Canberra, they go further in front and lead by 14-2. It was almost a crowd that was hushed through embarrassment for Steve Jurgalis.
Well, you've got to feel sorry for him, don't you? I can honestly say that I've never seen anything like that on a football field. It was almost like the quarterback trying to find one of his running backs downfield. The wrong jersey. You're keen to make up for it, Steve Jurgalis. He's played very, very well for the Magpies. That's one of those things that can happen in a game of rugby league. But again, take your hat off to Ricky Stewart. He was up there, put the pressure on. If something was going to happen, he was in the right place.
Mullins. Well, now Wests have got a mountain in front of them. Walters. Byrne. Hits it up hard, and he's got a bit of a step too in his approach. Now Carney is being penalised for the high tackle. A bit of fire in him, this kid. Carney must do it now. Yeah, there it is. Oh, there's nothing in that.
Oh, turn that up, fair dinkum. That's a joke. It's a joke penalty, that.
He can feel very unlucky to have brought a penalty against his team for what he did there. Now the tap will be taken by the Raiders just into West Territory. Osborne. Caution on the run for Mesher, a swinging arm. Lomax. That's a good tackle by David Gillespie down low. Stewart. Daly. Short ball for Boyle. Now Daly. Meninga. Head-on tackle by Terry Hill. And a very keen contest between these two big men continues. Daly wide. Pongia may have had a little look. And Walters dives on it for Canberra, but McCallum has ruled knock-ons against both.
Very good defence from Western Suburbs, coming up in the line and coming up at speed. And no doubt, Quentin Pongia just had a little bit of a look. Mesher was the man leading the charge. You can control the opposition even when you haven't got the football. Western Suburbs did that defensively.
Jason Taylor to work it. And the Magpies win it midway between the 20 and the halfway. Georgalis finds the right man this time. Andrew leads, but Canberra have got more than sufficient numbers right across the park. Willis. White. Lomax and Pongy are making the tackle on the chunky Western Suburbs prop. Bad pass for Taylor, put down. Well, McCallum has blown the whistle. I thought he would have played the advantage.
I think you'll find there was a knock-on by a Canberra player as well in there, Ray. After Taylor had dropped the ball, another Canberra player got his hand to the ball.
Let's take a sideline comment from Steve.
I was just watching Ricky Stewart then chasing that football. I think he's hurt his left groin. He's in a bit of bother at the moment, Ricky Stewart.
Yeah, well, that picture shows exactly that that groin is giving him some trouble. And it'll be a damn tragedy if Stewart is forced out of this game, because his form has been exemplary.
And of course, there is a fair bit of history to that injury with Ricky Stewart. He's gone through a semi-final series in the past, basically living on painkillers. I think he's gone to Adelaide and had the operation. He's coming to the sideline now as Canberra move into the attacking area once again, looking to continue right.
Pongia, a short pass away, and tackled down on the 20-metre line is Croker. Stewart is coming off. I don't know for how long, but this is a little change of luck for Western Suburbs. A big tackle by Liddon then on Lomax. Daly, second man play. Belcher looks for the opening, gives the pass to Hoppy. Hoppy does some light stepping, goes for the line. Short. Canberra fanned out to the right. They need quick ball from the play the ball. It wasn't there. Meninga goes himself. Leeds was beautifully positioned and gets back into the field of play. A let off for West there. Played by Carney. Willis.
I think that'd have been hard done by Western Suburbs. I think there was an actual shepherd in this movement here. You'll see there's the number 3 going through. He takes one of the Western Suburbs players out and then can't recover. It was Terry Hill. I think it should have been pulled that penalty to Western Suburbs.
West with the ball on their own 20-metre line. Taylor gets a better pass this time. And the ball goes down to bounce a couple of times for Gary Belcher. They have kicked to open space. That's dangerous against the Green Boys because they can hurt you from anywhere. And one of the best open field runners, broken play runners in the game is Gary Belcher. Hoppy. Now Mark Bell has been wounded. The left eye, the left cheekbone area.
Great tackle again, Steve Carney. Some big hits in this Western Suburbs defence. That one was low, but we've seen Gillespie, Liddon, and then Carney will pull up some big shots.
Good pass by Walters, equally done by Osborne. Hoppy goes for the line. Oh, Andrew leads.
Super
That
tackle.
was a corker of a tackle. Wide ball for Wood. Now it's gone on for Daly. Across the park for Meninga. Then for Boyle. Now for Belcher. Belcher puts the ears back. Goes for the line. And that's a try for mine.
I don't think he got the ball down, Ray.
It's been given. It's a try. Belcher scores for the Raiders.
It was beautiful play by Canberra. Side-to-side football. They threw it one way, then out the other. West caught short in defence once again. Meninga quick hands. Then from Boyle on the Belcher. Strides for the line. The nice tackle by Willis. Did he get the ball in? He doesn't there, that's for sure.
Well, you've got a better set of peepers than I've got.
I'm a lot younger than you, Ray.
So is the man in the in-goal area. They just promote the football. This will be the good shot. Coming across. Belcher.
Well, I don't think he hasn't got the ball down yet.
That might have been it going down there. It was fairly late.
10 minutes later.
Let's have a look at this. The ball's not on the ground yet. Still not on the ground. It's a great tackle.
He's held up. He's got to be held up, yep. What do you think, Ray?
Well, that's a different picture than the one you called off originally. What are you talking about?
He's got great peepers.
Great peepers. The baby blues. I'll tell you what, West have got a huge problem on the sideline down here. David Gillespie, about 4 tackles ago, he's gone down with an arm injury, and the doctor is looking at it now on the sideline.
Ferner lining up the conversion attempt. It's all history now, but looking at the pictures, and we've dissected it several times, but Belcher didn't get it down. But the try's been given, and McCallum acted on the in-goal judge's decision. Ferner bringing it around, but not enough. So no addition to the scoreline, and Canberra leading Western Suburbs by 18 points to 2. Taylor restarting as we welcome you back to Dubbo. Canberra with a big lead, 18 points to 2. Stewart is off for the Raiders. We suspect that left groin has flared on him again, but now high drama for West with David Gillespie. Steve Roach.
Yeah, the doctor's just having a look at David Gillespie at the moment. At the moment, it's just a problem with his forearm. They think it's badly bruised, but that's just the story at the moment. Also, a bit of problem for Mark Bell. He's got a bad gash underneath his eye. So they're in the wars, the Magpies.
Matthew Wood clears for Canberra. Leeds brings it back. We've got some footage we'll go back to in a moment, at an opportune moment. The tackle of Gillespie where we believe the injury occurred. But let's just stay with the Magpies for a moment till they use up this set of 6. They're 40 out. Mesha goes away from dummy half, but nobody went with him. Nobody went with him. Dooley for Taylor. Short pass for Britt. 30 metres away from the Canberra line. Taylor again. Hill looking inside for his winger, Rhys Webb. So West have sent heaps of replacements into the game. Dooley is on, Webb is on, and Jorgalis is on. Now here's the incident with David Gillespie. He goes low, and it seemed to be the leg or the knee of John Lomax that has caused the problem.
And you see, he looks straight at his arm. Wouldn't surprise you if that arm, I think it's broken for sure. He's got good keepers. Thanks, Pete. Didn't think you'd notice.
Mistake by the Raiders, and the scrum to pack down 35 metres out from their own line.
Just starting to lose their way a little bit now, the Magpies are a long way behind on the scoreboard. The last set of 6 they had, the ball was thrown to Kyle White on the last tackle. He was forced to kick the football. They were in the 20-metre area of the Canberra Raiders. They had to do something better than that. This is another good opportunity. Georgalis picking up Andrew Leeds out wide. They continue this style of play.
Leeds pummeled into the ground by David Boyle. He's had a superb game, Andrew Leeds. This is Jorgalis. Yes, Steve?
Some bad and good news for Ricky Stewart. He's done an adductor muscle, which is lower in the lower stomach region, and it's not his groin, but he won't be back tonight.
Well, that's rotten luck for Canberra. Even worse for Ricky Stewart. Jorgalis tackled, 18-2, Canberra leads. Now Taylor, he throws a beautiful pass for Terry Hill, puts the fend on. Croker comes up with the intercept, can't handle.
Once again, it's Hill on Meninga. It's been a great confrontation by these two players. On the inside, desperation pass by Hill, knocked down by Canberra. West, this is a time they must score a try, I think, in this next set of 6 there, if they're to get back into the game.
Well, here's their chance. Jorgalis dummies to Terry Hill going inside. Taylor wants it off to the left. He wants to keep up the wrap. Stops and gives it for Hill. He takes the tackle, picks up Rhys Webb. Webb only 2 metres out from the line. Can the Magpies score here? Away from Mesha. Turned inside for Kyle White. And he's turned back by the Canberra defence. Now for Taylor. Holds it back, lets 2 forwards go. Puts the kick in himself, and Canberra come up with the ball. Ferner plays it for the Raiders. Now they knock on a dummy half, Canberra.
Oh, big mistake there. Jason Taylor didn't need to kick the football, wasn't the last. He'd run out of options. But they'll get the ball back here. There was raking out Carney. There's Croker, took his eye off the ball. You won't get a better attacking opportunity than this.
Taylor picks up Jorgalis. Running the angle is O'Day, looking for the ringer to come inside. O'Day 8 metres out from the line. Boyle has been strong in defence out there. Willis tries to burrow his way through. Still 2 metres from the line. Dooley gets it back on a hit and spin mission. Away from Taylor, picked up by Brett. The ball goes to ground. The Magpies are still with it. Played by Jogalis. Now it's with Taylor. Dummies to a player going the other way. Hill on for Leeds. Leeds for the line. And Western Suburbs, they get their first try. Good work by Jason Taylor. Andrew Leeds picks up the try.
The Canberra defence has been nothing short of sensational, but it had to crack 5 metres out from their own line. They couldn't continue the defence. And nice cut-out pass here. And there's a situation here, 3 on 2. And a simple draw and pass situation. And Leeds outside Meninga, always going to score the try.
Yes, just what weight of numbers there. They had a lot of possession down there. Jason Taylor coming to the defence. Good thing that the Western Suburbs players were coming straight. And there's Andrew Leeds. They needed that, the Maggies. They're back in the game. Still a lot of work to do. As Paul Vorton pointed out, they really had to score before half-time, and we're under 4 minutes out from that break.
Andrew Leeds, the try scorer, and adding already to a magnificent night that he's had, and a very good start to 1993 via the Tooheys Challenge.
That defence Canberra playing, Peter, it's all right sort of outside their own 22, but in that situation where they're not actually marking man on man, it seems to be a little bit easier for opposition sides to get around them and make breaks.
Well, in this first almost 40 minutes, it's been fairly obvious. They've been prepared to give up 15 or 20 metres and let Western Suburbs take them on that way. As you say, in that area, you just can't afford to do it. It'll be a try time.
Jason Taylor strikes it from 21 out. He hasn't put enough on it. And the scoreline stays the same. With Canberra leading Western Suburbs 18 points to 6. We're getting very close to half-time. People of Dubbo really come out in their thousands for this one. Much bigger crowd than the crowd attracted by Brisbane and Illawarra when Illawarra won the Tooheys Challenge last year. Now, Gillespie has taken that ice pack from the arm.
Still breaking, Fatty?
Well, it could be. He's a pretty tough player. Probably a player of the
might have mended already.
Western Suburbs on a carry-back mission. Jason Liddon. Reece Webb. A talented player, this fellow, Reece Webb. He had some huge raps on him a couple of years ago, and he has since had complete knee reconstruction done. It's just put a big punctuation mark in his career. Steve Roach.
Yeah, I was just talking to David Gillespie, Ray, and he reckons it's just badly bruised. He's a tough hombre, David Gillespie. He'll be back out there.
Belcher carries it back to the 40-metre line and to the Western Suburbs defence. Sean Hoppy. Turning it inside, but Croker losing his footing right on the halfway mark. They stack the blindside, Canberra. Osmond, Belcher, back inside, Meninga holds Dooley at bay with one arm, finds Walters. Walters makes 5 metres for Canberra and pulled down. Willis is calling for reinforcements on the far left of the ground for Western Suburbs as Pongia drives play in that direction. 5 gone. Canberra come back the other way. Daly puts the kick in. Leeds goes across. It'll find the touchline. Will it? No, Leeds was compelled to take it back to the defence. Hoppy pulls him down. Loses the ball getting up.